Hey everyone, hope you guys are having a good day. Please let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear, let me know. Can y'all hear this before I go further? Because we had some technical difficulties. All right, y'all can hear me. Fantastic. All right. So let me check my Instagram people, make sure that they can hear us. Anybody on Insta, let me know if y'all can hear me. Okay, they're saying they can. So we are good to go forward. So it has been a little while since I have done a show with you guys because I have been out doing some things. And definitely want to talk to you about the latest updates, what I was out doing. And we have a lot, a lot of Diddy updates to talk to you about. Also to let you guys know, I do plan to get a little bit more into the Garth Brooks thing. Before I go any further, though, before I get into any shameless self-promotion, I do want to say for all my Florida people who are listening, whether you're on TikTok or you're on Instagram, or YouTube, please stay safe if you are in the path of this hurricane. If you are in the Tampa area, please leave. The mayor of Tampa said basically, leave, if you're in the evacuation zones, leave or die. So please stay safe, guys. This is going to be a bad one. This one's shaping up to be one of the worst in history. So I just want to make sure that you guys are okay. So without further ado, let me get into some shameless self-promotion, all right? Which is what we started to do before, and y'all didn't hear it. So, well, didn't miss anything overly important. So a lot of y'all may know, or a lot of y'all are new here, so you may not know, I have written 2 children's books. Well, actually 3, but the third one's not out yet. Will be soon. I'll keep you guys updated on that. But the first book is called Boundaries. Basically, if you are no contact, limited contact with a family member, this is a way to have a conversation as to why with your children in a way that's simple for them to understand, doesn't vilify that individual. You're not trauma dumping on your kids, while at the same time teaching your kids not only how to set boundaries within a relationship so they learn that healthy skill early in life, but also to help your kids recognize what a conditional relationship is so that they can hopefully avoid those. The second book, and I know this is kind of harsh, but basically it is, I tell people I wrote this book so I don't have to do a video on your kids. That's just the bottom line of it. It's called Surprises Are Okay, Secrets Are Not. And basically this book is designed to help teach your kids that, hey, surprises have end dates. Secrets aren't okay. Adults especially should not be asking your kids to keep a secret. And then there's 10 jumping off points at the end so that there's a question at the end that says, can you think of some other things that you should tell a trusted grown-up, even if asked to keep a secret? And then there's 10 jumping off points that you as a parent can have open dialogue with your kids. Now, my publisher put these books as 4 to 8 on there. I wrote them to go up to 12. My publisher doesn't listen to me, so that's what, just to let you guys know the age range on that, it is 4 to 12. And then there is a bundle deal. So softcover bundle gets free shipping. Hardcover books get free shipping. I'm currently at, y'all sold me out of Boundaries and hardcovers, so I'm still waiting to get those in. They should be in hopefully soon. But if you want to buy the hardcover, any single hardcover or the softcover Boundaries, those get free shipping. They do come signed. You can get them in the TikTok shop or through the link in my bio, which is justinthenickofcrime.com. I don't have that many, so if you want them, you want them for the holidays, I would go ahead and order them now, because seriously, I only have like a couple hundred copies of each left. So if you look at that as far as sets go, they will go pretty quick. That being said, last thing I will ask you guys to do for me, whether it's on TikTok or whether it is on YouTube, whichever you are, please do me a solid and smash that either follow button or that subscribe button. On YouTube, subscribing is the same as a follow. Also, make sure to please tap that screen on TikTok, hit the like button, the thumbs up on YouTube. All those things help me tremendously, and I really appreciate that. So that, without further ado, let's get into what we've been talking about. Let's get into what we have going on and some stuff that I'm actually kind of excited to share with you about. I don't know if Joe is still in here, so he may or may not know about this. But I was in Vegas over the past few days, basically taping a new show. Podcast hopefully could become a show with, well, I'll get into it. Basically, what the whole goal of this show is to try to make Hollywood better. Okay. And I'm sure you all know, when we have a case that's out and we're watching these cases unfold, oftentimes, Lifetime is a big one of this, will come out with a movie. We'll come out with a movie without the family's permission, and they'll say that it's based on a true story. And based on a true story could mean just they got the correct names. It could be that simple. So we have a lot of names on the docket of things that of people we want to talk to help go through and dissect the movies about their stories, about their lives. But the one that we were in Las Vegas recording is regarding the Gabby Petito story, and we did that with Nikki and Jim Schmidt. And as you can see on the left in that picture, that is Dan. Dan is my co-host. He's also a Hollywood producer, director. And so basically what happened is we asked Jim and Nikki, and actually Rose, Gabby's best friend, to join us to watch this movie, which they did begrudgingly, which we appreciate them doing it, and basically help determine what's real and what's not, and have them rate it, have them rate their characters, etc. So it's a really interesting concept. We had a lot of fun doing it. I appreciate them. Really good setup. So that's kind of what we have coming out. For people who are, I see on YouTube, they're on TikTok asking for pictures. So here's the thing. This is just real quick for my TikTok fans. I am paying attention to you guys a little bit. You will not see pictures on TikTok. I will always do these shows on TikTok so you can sit and listen. If you want to see any photos, you have to jump over to YouTube. YouTube, the same name is on here. It's Just in the Nick of Crime. Easiest way to get to it is to go to link in my bio directly under my picture. You will see, follow me on socials or whatever it says. And on the far right is YouTube if you want to do that. But if you do come to YouTube, make sure to hit that follow button. So I just see June here saying justice for Tupac. I'm going to throw that up there. I agree. Justice for Tupac. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that right now, as a matter of fact. But I say right now, but in a second. So first I want to talk about this lovely woman in the picture right here is Janice Combs. I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard about this. Janice Combs has released a statement regarding everything going on with her son. And basically she's defending him, that she's profoundly saddened by the public lynching and heartbroken over how people are choosing to believe the narratives about her son. And, I get it. She's a mom. She doesn't want to accept whatever the case is. And look, technically we're innocent until proven guilty, right? I mean, that's the bottom line here. Because I'm getting old, I can't see as well. So here we go. I'm going to read this statement for you guys. We'll read it in its entirety, and then let's talk about it. Guys, you can definitely put your opinions in the chat. In fact, I encourage you to do so as we read it. So Janice Smalls Combs, the mother of Sean Combs, through her undersigned counsel and on the behalf of the Combs family, releases the following statement. I come to you today as a mother that is devastated and profoundly saddened by the allegations made against my son, Sean Combs. It is heartbreaking to see my son judged not for the truth, but for a narrative created out of lies. To bear witness what seems to be like a public lynching of my son before he has had the opportunity to prove his innocence is a pain too unbearable to put into words. Like every human being, my son deserves to have his day. My son has, okay, sorry, I lost my pen. Like every human being, my son deserves to have his day in court, to finally share his side and to prove his innocence. I'm not here to portray my son as perfect, because he is not. He has made mistakes in his past, as we all have. My son may not have been entirely truthful about certain things, such as denying he has ever gotten violent with an ex-girlfriend when the hotel surveillance showed otherwise. Sometimes the truth is a lie. Sometimes the truth and a lie become so closely intertwined that it becomes terrifying to admit one part of the story, especially when that truth is outside of the norm or is too complicated to be believed. This is why I believe my son's civil legal team opted to settle the ex-girlfriend's lawsuit instead of contesting it till the end, resulting in a ricochet effect as the federal government used this decision against my son by interpreting it as an admission of guilt. All right, I'm going to pause there before I go further and read this. That she's talking about Cassie, and I want to read this. This is why I believe my son's legal team opted to settle the ex-girlfriend Cassie's lawsuit instead of contesting it till the end. There was video evidence. There was video surveillance of him comfortably beating the crap out of her in a hotel lobby. This wasn't like an allegation with no proof behind it. There was plenty of proof. She's lucky to be alive the way that he was beating her. Right? So anyways, I'm going to pause there and just say this. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I'm going to do it anyways, because, I mean, come on. That is like, read the room, lady. Anyways, it is important to recognize that none of us, regardless of our status, are immune to fear or mistakes. Not being entirely straightforward about one issue does not mean my son is guilty of the repulsive allegations and the grave charges leveled against him. Many individuals who were wrongfully convicted and later exonerated had their freedom taken from them, not because they were guilty of the crimes they were accused of, but because they didn't fit the image of what this society considers to be a good person. History has showed us how individuals can be wrongly convicted due to their past actions or mistakes. Watching the world make jokes and laugh at my son's life crumbling before our eyes is something I can never forget. It is truly agonizing to watch the world turn against my son so quickly and easily over lies and misconceptions without ever hearing his side or affording him the opportunity to present his side. These lies thrown at him are motivated by seeking financial gain and not justice. These individuals saw how quickly my son's civil team settled his ex-girlfriend's lawsuits. They believe they can receive a quick payday by falsely accusing my son. False accusations of SA thwart the true victims of S violence from getting the justice they deserve. To make matters worse, the federal government is now using these lies to prosecute my son. The injustice has been unbearable for our family. The worst part of this ordeal is watching my beloved son be stripped of his dignity, not for what he did, but for what people choose to believe about him. I ask his supporters, fans, colleagues, friends, and the public to not judge him before you've had the chance to hear his side. I beg you to think about those who have been wrongly persecuted, to remember that not everyone who has made mistakes in life deserves their entire existence judged by a single action or a few mistakes. My son is not the monster they have painted him to be, and he deserves a chance to tell his side. I can only pray that I am alive to see him speak his truth and be vindicated. Respectfully submitted on the behalf of Janice Combs and the Combs family. All right, guys, there is a lot to unpack here. There's a lot to unpack here, right? So, I don't even know. This is more than one thing, guys. This is way more than one. Way more than one. This is 120 plus people. This is an entire music industry having gone completely silent over this. Nobody's coming up to defend this guy. And the thing is, she wants to sit here and talk about the fact that he hasn't had a chance to show his side of the story. Well, when he had a chance to redeem himself with Cassie, he just lied about it. He didn't tell the truth on it. Real quick, too, for anybody who is interested in seeing this statement in its entirety, it is posted on my IG where it's really easy to read the full thing, not edited, not, screenshotted down, but like the full thing for anybody who wants to edit. I would encourage you to go to my Instagram and read it. But there's 120 people so far that have come up. We know for a fact that he settled quickly, and we're going to talk about this more in a minute, that other A-list celebrities have settled fairly quickly to keep their name from being out of this. We know that the world is on edge, who are in that industry, because they're worried about their names coming out. That's not speculation. That's just the case. There's plenty of news articles and news sources out there talking about this. There have been rumors and speculations about the way he's handled himself for decades, from bodies that surround him to the comment. I mean, he's been telling us too. He's been telling on when he goes on shows about locking the doors and keeping people there and keeping it high. I mean, he's told on himself for a long time. Cassie's allegation might have been, and the video that surfaced might have been one part to this story, but it wasn't that one thing that caused Homeland Security and the Southern District Court of New York to go in and decide to move against him and bring these charges against him. It was so much more than that. The other thing that kind of makes me upset about this and is that I have a tendency to say that we believe victims until we have a reason to not believe victims. Despite what people want to say, the number of false reporting is not that high. It is between 2 and 5% is really what the typical, false allegations are. So it's not very high. Does it happen? Yes. Arguably Amber Heard is a perfect example of that as found in court of law. Now, both of them were very toxic. Both of them were not without their faults, but that was a proof that, a lot of what she said, she couldn't even keep her story straight, was a lie. So that's why, she lost that civil case. The point is that people do make false allegations, but you're not talking one or two people here. You are talking hundreds of people here. You are talking about a law firm that received 3,000 phone calls has so far taken 120 cases that they know beyond a shadow of a doubt they can file, working on another 100 and something else, And as far as it being a quick payday, it's not always about that too. A lot of times, O.J. Simpson is a great example of that. They don't pay the money that a judge awards during a civil suit. They'll just keep the judgment, and people will keep renewing the judgment, and it'll go on their credit, or you can put liens against properties or whatever the case is, and you deal with it when they die. Ron Goldman still hasn't been paid out, and that was from the 90s. you know? So it's not necessarily a quick payday. So I'm always going to be the person that believes victims until we have a reason to not believe them. That's just my personal opinion on that. So anyways, again, if you want to see this whole thing, you can go to my Instagram and take a look at it. But now let's talk about this. I'm going to make this bigger. And again, if you are my YouTube or my TikTok family coming in and you want to see what we're talking about a little bit more in depth, you want to see the pictures associated with it, jump over to YouTube where you can see the videos or the pictures that we have up here. So you guys have heard me talk about Tupac a lot, and there has been more and more news and updated information on the Tupac case than ever before not only in the last year, but in the last couple month, even since Diddy's arrest. And so let's talk about this, because as a lot of y'all know, a few weeks ago, we talked about the agents in the Diddy trafficking case meeting with investigators on Tupac's murder. Well, we have even more information on that now. There's a crime scene investigator by the name of Cheryl McCullum. She investigated the scene of Tupac's murder back then on the day, and she believes that Diddy was involved in both Tupac's 1994 shooting and the fatal 1996 shooting, claiming that she has proof linking Diddy to Tupac's death. Now, here's what she points out. There are some striking similarities between what happened in New York and what happened in Las Vegas. In both cases, for example, Tupac was trapped. In New York, it was an elevator, and then in Vegas, it was a car. And both crime scenes mysteriously lacked video footage. Even though this was the early 90s, guys, there were still surveillance cameras around. They existed. And, you're talking about, especially, it was a studio, the, what was it called? The Squad Studios. There would be cameras there, but nevertheless, both of them lacked video footage. Which this is circumstantial, obviously. She says that this signifies that somebody close to him knew his whereabouts on those dates, times, and locations. She also questions the 1994 Quad Studio shooting, noting that Diddy and his large entourage remained unharmed, which was about an entourage of about 40 people, y'all, because Diddy and Biggie and this entourage were there at the studios. They remained unharmed while Tupac was apparently targeted and was robbed. It was made to look like a robbery for his money and his jewelry. She added that you don't need to shoot someone 5 times to take their money and their jewelry. And she also points out who would have had more jewelry and money, the one dude or the 40 dudes. Again, these guys were armed. They shot him, Now, McCullum has also said that her suspicions have further been fueled by the arrest last year of Dwayne Davis, a.k.a. Keefe D, who has been officially charged with Tupac's murder. And Keefe D has previously implicated Diddy in planning the hit. In fact, if you don't know it, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, but if you haven't, just in case, as Keefe D states it, he was offered $1 million to take out Suge Knight and Tupac. Tupac was the only one that died, so they got paid $500,000. There was apparently a phone call, too, that Keefe D claims that Diddy made, saying that when he found out about the news, he asked, "Was that us?" excitedly, and Keefe D responded, "Yeah." So all that being said, another detective's testimony also revealed that Suge Knight, who will never testify against anybody, that's a different rabbit hole to go down, why he won't do that. But he's revealed that back then, allegedly, Suge claimed Diddy was responsible for Tupac's death. Now, because of all of this stuff coming out, all these people now willing to talk, Diddy in jail, so the fear is not there as much. Tupac's family has hired a high-profile attorney/investigator named Alex Spiro to investigate this possible connection. Now, Alex Spiro is not just any guy off the street. To give you an idea of who he is, recently he was chosen to help investigate and defend Alec Baldwin during the Rust trial, his manslaughter trial. Now, one real quick little, not last, but one little fun fact, we'll call it, about Diddy is apparently he allegedly fears that he is marked for death by West Coast gangbangers. Apparently, an insider said if you are a persona non grata for a certain gang or group, there are people who will go out of their way to do something bad to you. No one is ever truly safe or isolated. Now, to be fair and to state this correctly, because we want to make sure that we're fair for everybody, Diddy has called his involvement in Tupac's Las Vegas shooting pure fiction. But that doesn't stop prosecutors in Tupac's case from collaborating with the feds who are investigating Diddy, which is what's going on. Despite the fact that this is mounting speculation and circumstantial evidence, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department maintains Diddy has, quote, never been considered a suspect, end quote, in their official homicide investigations. So, guys, here's the thing. I feel confident. I feel confident that we will see implications with Tupac's death and Diddy. I will be surprised if we don't. And I am here for it. Keefe D's trial starts in November. So, just wait. So we're going to switch next to something that's some really brand new information outside of the Tupac stuff. And I will say real quick for all my people coming in because we have about 900 people on our TikTok side. I want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to know what's going on. I always do these YouTube shows and leave you guys up to make sure that y'all can hear it. But if you want to see the images and things that are there that I'm putting up on the screen, definitely jump over to YouTube. It's the same name as here, Just in the Nick of Crime. Easiest way to get to it is by going to the link in my bio. Scrolling down directly under my pictures, you will see my socials, and on the far right is YouTube. And if you're there, hit that notification, hit that bell, hit that subscribe button. It's the same as a follow. And if you are new into this live on TikTok as well, please hit that follow button as well. Do me a solid on that. So let's get into the next parts of this, guys, which is, one second, got to get this. There we go. Let's talk about the tapes. You guys like this image? I specifically went with this one because whatever, old school, whatever. So regarding the tapes, an A-list male celebrity is reportedly, and I did a video about this on TikTok too, is reportedly horrified that an alleged S-tape featuring him and Diddy is being shopped around to media outlets. So what does that mean? That means that there is apparently a tape out there. There's actually a few tapes out there, is what we're learning. But this particular one shows an A-lister, and it is being shopped around, trying to be sold to media outlets unless he chooses to buy it first, which might happen. And we're going to talk a lot more about people buying things and paying things off, but we'll get to that. Now, here's what what I can tell you about this. I don't have any names of who this A-lister is, but according to sources close to this unnamed A-list star, this situation is triggering and feels like a betrayal and violation. It brings up some really disturbing, I'm quoting what they said. It brings up some really disturbing and bad memories. The celebrity reportedly feels victimized twice over, once when the alleged incident occurred years ago, and now again as the footage threatens to surface. Continuing, the source also says that if this footage gets out, it will follow him for life. It will be on the internet forever. Now, based on the way this is worded, I have an idea as to who this celebrity is, but because I don't know that verifiably, I'm not going to name it. A lot of y'all probably know as well who you guys think it is. I think that that's a very specific thing to be said. So it doesn't say in what capacity this tape that this individual is, whether he's a participant, whether he's just a victim, whatever's going on in it, but apparently that exists. Okay. Now, the existence of multiple S-tapes has been corroborated by attorney Ariel Mitchell-Kidd, who claims that there are 3 different tapes featuring Combs with 3 different celebrities, all reportedly A-listers, that there's also a 4th tape that allegedly shows another celebrity, I don't think A-lister, in a compromising situation, not with Combs, but at one of Combs' residence. Now, apparently, the circulation of these alleged tapes has a lot of people in the entertainment industry worried. There is a top entertainment lawyer by the name of Brian Friedman, and he has said that, quote, many people at the highest level, including artists, executives, managers, and others, are not sleeping well right now. And the thing is, you can tell that part is true because apparently, in what I'm going to call is a desperate attempt to avoid being publicly named in this expanding scandal, some celebrities are reportedly paying off victims, hush money, if you will. And we're going to talk about this in a second, a little bit more in depth about civil lawsuits. But if you recall, last week, Tony Busby, who's the attorney representing about 120 alleged victims of Diddy, claims that there are some high-profile individuals that were also being named, and that those names would come out as the suits were filed, but they have reached out already to settle and pay off victims to avoid being named in public lawsuits. And he has confirmed that his firm specifically has already settled with a handful of individuals, many of which you've heard of before. That's what he said. Now, here's what I want to make clear, because even when I say it in a video, and I mean this respectfully, guys, I truly do, but even when I say this in videos, a lot of people don't seem to understand what a civil lawsuit is. Civil lawsuits are about money and or information. That is what they are about. It is rare that criminal charges come from a civil lawsuit. All right? It is very rare. Can it happen? Yes, but it wouldn't be. What would have to happen is the event would have to occur. The civil lawsuit would have to be settled. They'd have to, or the person would have to win. Then charges, there would have to be an investigation opened, charges brought, etc. It is incredibly rare that it happens. So it is about money. So these people choosing to settle, they were about money. Or like I said, in some cases, like for example, what I can tell you from my knowledge, in like the Micah Miller case and the like Gabby Petito case, that was about information. Settling was about information, not about money. Information that the people needed or wanted to be able to move forward in whatever they have. So what I'm saying real quick is that, for these people, that's what the case is. They are choosing to settle to keep these names out of it, and that's what we have. Now, at this point, we don't have any official names. It's all speculation. Although I am going to give you guys some names on something here in a second, so stay tuned. And I'm going to show you pictures as proof as well of these names, but most of them have pictures with Diddy as part of it. But all these names, it's all speculation now. And Tony Busby is cautious about naming individuals beyond Combs, understanding the potential firestorm it could create. However, he has hinted that when these names are revealed, it will indeed create a firestorm. And here's what I can tell you. Okay, guys. Diddy's parties, as we all know, were frequented by A-list celebrities, people high profile in whatever industries that they're in. Okay, whether it's music or entertainment or whoever, and you'll see that in a minute. So there are some people some names of people who were at some of these parties, confirmed that they were at these parties. But I want to make this very clear before I go forward and show you things. Please note this. This is important. Confirmed going to these parties, confirmed having a friendship or relationship with Diddy, does not mean they participated in anything illicit. Okay? I want to make that crystal clear for the time being, because some of these names, there are people who really like them and people who really don't like them. So I don't want anybody running with anything, because they were there at parties, but it does not mean that they participated. So now that I have, somebody said "duh dude" on TikTok. I get you saying that, but you don't understand. Trust me, people will run with stuff. So I just want to make that very clear. So let's talk about some of those names. Jay-Z and Beyonce. Donald and Melania Trump. Leonardo DiCaprio. This was not a really good picture, but that's Russell Simmons, who, by the way, Russell Simmons is currently in Bali, where coincidentally there's no extradition. Irv Gotti. Kim and Khloe Kardashian. I didn't do pictures with Diddy because it was easy to put them side by side than try to find them all together. Reverend Al Sharpton. Ashton Kutcher. This one's not a surprise. Mariah Carey. Paris Hilton. Stephen Baldwin, who happens to be Hailey Bieber's dad. Oprah Winfrey. Russell Brand. Usher. Chris Brown. Those are just to name a few that are up there that have been to the parties. But again, does not necessarily mean that they participate in anything illicit. Now, let's talk about Bieber for a second. And there's been a lot of focus on Justin Bieber during this entire thing. Basically a spotlight has been shined on him and his past relationship with Diddy. There have been resurfaced videos from Justin Bieber's teenage years, sparking concerns and speculation about the nature of their relationship. In fact, recently in a 2011 clip from Jimmy Kimmel Live, it showed Diddy warning Justin Bieber, who at the time was 16 years old, to keep quiet about, quote, the things he does with Big Brother Puff on national television. Another video features Diddy discussing having custody of Bieber when he was 15 for 48 hours, which, can we talk about why the hell as a parent would you do that? Like, I'm not trying to victim blame the parents here, but like, why is that a good idea? Why is that a good idea? It's just not, but whatever. But when he had that custody for 48 hours, he promised to, quote, go full crazy, end quote. And these revelations, all this new stuff surfacing, have raised questions about Bieber's potential involvement or exposure to the activities. And that's all now under scrutiny in the Diddy case. And here's the thing about Justin Bieber. If you want to know my personal opinion, I don't know what happened or what didn't happen. So this next part, I'm going to make it very clear speculation. If something happened between Bieber and Diddy, I believe that Justin was a victim. What I can tell you is that I know that Justin has been in a bad place ever since the raids. I know he doesn't really want to talk about this. I know that he's really been struggling. I also know that he's a new dad and he's got that new chapter to focus on. I also know that he doesn't owe us any type of explanation, but since things keep coming up, I think it's important to keep talking about it. Now, amid this turmoil, all the stuff going on, Hailey Bieber, his wife, made a bold move kind of on social media today. I don't know if it's a bold move, but an interesting move. She recently posted a more lighthearted photo on Insta showing Justin shirtless and giving the middle finger, captioned simply as, quote, mood. And this post, because the internet is the internet, has sparked all sorts of speculation about its timing and its meaning, given the current controversy surrounding Justin's past. Thank you for that, by the way, Cass. Given the current controversy surrounding his past associations with Diddy. Now, sources that are close to Justin Bieber says that he's aware of the situation, but is attempting to focus on his new role as a father. However, insiders to him suggest that Justin is under significant stress, feeling isolated, which makes me feel terrible for the guy, feeling isolated with no one to confide in about the Diddy revelations. Now, here's the thing. Investigations are continuing. More lawsuits are being filed. The entertainment world's watching closely. We're watching closely, wondering who, what might be revealed every day, because there's new stuff coming every day. Every day there's something new unfolding. But we can definitely say that this has exposed a very dark underbelly of this industry, of fame, and potential vulnerabilities of artists, young artists in particular, who are in this industry. You know, I saw an interview with one of Diddy's former bodyguards, and he was going through certain people, and he wouldn't name certain names, but I will say this: he did name, I believe, he said that Justin Bieber, when he would give just one word answers, Tupac, he said, was victim, and he said Justin Bieber, the word he used was used. My heart breaks for Justin Bieber, because here's the thing: if something happened to him in those years, it was not his fault. He should not be ridiculed and scrutinized over something that's not his fault. So we'll find out. We'll find out on what's going on. It's a lot. It's a lot. And then, kind of a little bit of a different note. A lot of y'all probably are aware of, and I want to talk about this one real quick too. And I need to make a video, and we can talk about the response to this in a separate video, and I can assure you that we'll do that. But I do want to talk about the Garth Brooks allegations real quick, because things have come forward. This one woman who used to be the hair and makeup person for Trisha Yearwood, Garth Brooks' wife, claimed abuse. She filed her report, and I don't know if you've read that report. There we go. But it gets very specific, not very specific, not like generic, not like made up. Like, she gets into things that are very pointed, is how we'll word that. You can read it yourself, or I can maybe find the whole thing again, the whole filing, and put it on my Instagram. But one thing that I've noticed, which is interesting, is that I'm just going to go ahead and call a spade, and we're going to rip this Band-Aid. I'm going to say it. There's a lot of people who just say, I refuse to believe this. It's a money grab. And I hate when that happens because, being a channel as a guy who tries to advocate for women, and you see a lot of having men rip women down is one thing. We know that happens. There's so many men out there who want to rip women down and trivialize the experiences and things that you go through and whatever the case is. But when you see other women ripping other women down, it becomes challenging. And there's a lot of people, because here's the thing about these celebrities. We don't know these celebrities on we feel that we do. There's this like society, para relationship where you think you know them because you like them, but you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So it could be your absolute favorite celebrity and you find out something terrible and you don't want to believe it because you feel like you have this connection with them. And I look, for me personally, I'm not a country music fan, so I don't care one way or the other about Garth Brooks. I'm completely indifferent to him. I know he's famous. I know he's well known. I know he's been around my entire life, but that's about it. But there's one of the glaring differences, I'm just going to say it, between Diddy and Garth Brooks is skin color. It's a lot easier to believe the black guy did it than the white guy. And I mean, that's kind of one of the things that were out there. And I'm not saying that this woman isn't lying or she's telling the truth, but at this point in time, she's put something out there. She's got specifics. She allegedly has recordings, tape recordings, phone calls of some of these incidences, which is proof. And here's the thing. People call it a quick money grab. Who wants to drag their name through this type of media frenzy for a little bit of money? Sorry, that thing behind me is going. Who wants to do that? I wouldn't want to do that. That's you might get, what I'm saying? If you're a hair and makeup artist to celebrities, you're not hurting for money, trust me. Because if you're that person, they're taking you on trips, they're doing things like that. It's just the reality. But my point to all of this is please be cautious. I'm not saying to sit here and burn all your Garth Brooks stuff. I'm just saying let's wait till we hear more information out. And look, at the same time, if it turns out that it's true, which at this point I believe based on what I've seen that it is, but we'll find out. He's got a chance to defend himself. And I know he has released a statement, and I owe it to you guys and owe it to him if I'm talking about this to make sure that we read that statement. Okay. I just believe victims till you have a reason not to. Just go ahead and arbitrarily say this woman's full of it. She just wants a payday. It's irresponsible and it trivializes victims. That's what it is. Just because somebody's famous, just because somebody has money, doesn't mean that they're incapable of doing these things. Just because you like the fact that you've been a fan of theirs, you've listened to a bunch of albums, doesn't mean that you actually know them. Same thing with actors. Personal story real quick. I'm a big fan of Red Hot Chili Peppers. And Anthony Kiedis is a piece of shit. That's just the bottom line. Even in his book, he admitted to sleeping with a 14-year-old girl because he didn't know her age. This is when he was younger, maybe his 20s or 30s. I can't remember which, but I think mid to late 20s, sleeping with a 14-year-old girl. She apparently lied about her age, but when he found out about her age, he did it again anyways. And that breaks my heart because I've been a fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers forever, but it changes my view. It changes my outlook. I'm not going to sit here and say Anthony Kiedis could have never done that. So that's what we're saying. Somebody real quick said that I just saw on TikTok that Obama was at a Diddy party. I actually did some research because I wanted to find a picture of Obama at the Diddy party because I've been hearing that. Let's talk about that real quick. And actually, there's a picture of Obama with Diddy, but Obama never went to a party that I've been able to find. In fact, Diddy went out of his way to say that Obama hurt and harmed the black community. There was a photo op taken, but at the time too, you got to think Obama went from being like this lowly senator to president. There was no like rise to power where he would have been invited to something. People are saying Kamala was there, not seeing anything to prove that. So there's no reason that he would have been at the point to be invited to something like that. He was too low level until he became president. Once you become president, you can't do that anymore. So I've not been able to find anything for either one of them to be able to corroborate that story. Believe me, if I can, I absolutely will. Unfortunately, because I know that a lot of this is in response to the fact that I showed a photo of, multiple people, but specifically Donald and Melania Trump. There are multiple, probably at least a dozen photos of them with Diddy. Doesn't mean, again, specifically, being at a party doesn't mean that you were complicit in any illicit or illegal activities. It doesn't mean that at all. Having a photo, and that includes for Donald Trump and anybody. It doesn't mean that. But Frankie Vegas here sitting here saying bias coverage. I like this. This is not something we normally do, but let's discuss it real quick. Bias coverage would mean that I would not look at all and would just push a narrative. I have no problem, Democrat or Republican, pushing something out. Doesn't matter. I don't care who they are. If you did something bad, you did something bad. Okay? I don't care about politicians. I don't care about the elections coming up when it comes to stuff like this. If you did things like this, then that's, that's the bottom line. I looked for pictures. That's why I think Oprah's up there. I looked for pictures. I looked for confirmation for Oprah and for other people who could have been involved, who are considered to be high profile from even a political standpoint. There was nothing with Kamala or Barack Obama. There was nothing with Bill Clinton that I found at any of these parties. Those are the high politicians y'all want to know about. The only one that you can find is Donald Trump, which again, doesn't mean that he was complicit in anything. It just means, oh my God, you guys frustrate me. Somebody's like, so many photos are fake. Use your common sense. Yes, photos are fake. There are a lot of these photos that are old that are not. Just because you do not like the truth, just because people don't like the truth doesn't mean that it's not true. Okay? This isn't an attack on Donald Trump. He was there. Him, in his own words, has called Diddy a great person, a good friend. He has said that himself. You can go look that up, his own quote. This isn't a thing to attack him or say that he did anything illicit at a party, just that he's been to the parties. If you guys want to turn this into something else that is not because you choose to not believe it, that's totally fine. This isn't me being political. It's just giving you the facts that somebody was there. That's all. That's all. That's all. So, anyways, that being said, oh, Angela, okay, I get what you're, sorry, Angela, I get what you're saying then. I'm going to Google something real quick because people are saying this. Somebody said Kamala called Diddy a freight friend. I've not seen that at all. And I've been really into this Diddy stuff. But I'll look. Let's look. All right, here we go. Let's find this. In 2020, Kamala Harris, AOC, and Al Sharpton praised Diddy in 2020 at a town hall dedicated to COVID, honoring Black Americans. And she praised him, saying, "Hi, everyone. It's good to be with you this evening. Sean and I want to thank you because you always have a way of convening and bringing folks together." She later followed up in a tweet that was mocked on social media. I don't know what the tweet says. I don't see it. But yeah, so she praised him. That's what I can find at a quick notice. If there's more, though, I'll tell you what, though. I'll look. I don't care because I've got no loyalty to either one of them. I'll be happy to look and see if I can find it. I know there's a lot of fake pictures out there and things like that. But we'll take a look into it. We'll take a look into it. I'll do more. I have no problem. If Obama or Clinton or hell, Jimmy Carter went to one of these parties, I'm happy to talk about it. Happy to talk about it. Anyways, there's a lot more to come out about this stuff. Like, we're trying to look at what y'all are saying here. Anyway, I'm gonna close the comments because they're. Oh, we got a starred one. Hold on. Oh, we got a new member. Let me do this real quick because we got to do this. We got a new member to the channel. I appreciate that. Let's put you up here. RKB, thank you for becoming a new member. Appreciate you supporting everything. Appreciate you. Anyways, like, look, these are facts. All I can give you is the facts that I can find. Again, I don't care who the celebrity is. I don't care who the politician is. I don't care who the executive is. If it's the case, I'll be happy to talk about it. You know, I know that a lot of y'all are making accusations of things, and I will dig into them. If I can find something, I'm happy to put it up here. Again, I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't matter whether you like the truth or not. The truth of the matter is the truth of the matter is these are people that attended the parties. It doesn't mean that they did anything illicit at the parties. It's just the fact. There's going to be a lot of A-list celebrities, some of people who we all really like, that are going to be named in this stuff. And guess what? It's going to be a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, because there's a lot of people who really value celebrity status and think that they know people based off the fact that they're a good actor or they're a good singer, or you've bought some, you know, you've downloaded their albums or bought CDs, tapes, or records in the past. You know, that's all. We will find out who the names are of people who participated in illicit activities. That is going to come out. That is going to come out. And we're going to find out, probably starting within the next few weeks, who some of those are. It's been about a week since it was the 120 people were first named. We know that those people, that one attorney's office has another 100 and some odd people that they're working to try to get their cases at least, that they're trying to get trying to get the evidence gathered, stories corroborated, witnesses, etc. So these names are going to start dropping. They're going to start dropping. And we're going to find out, and you're going to be disappointed. I'm going to be disappointed that people that you looked up to or admired or thought were good people aren't. That's all. Anyways, we have a lot more stuff coming up on this. We have a lot more stories to talk about. Every day is a new surprise with this case. Tomorrow we have a hearing for Diddy. So there will be more updates from that hearing. I'm not actually sure what that's in regard to. But we'll find out tomorrow. Maybe one of y'all know. Somebody said that they were muted because they said a name. You're not muted, because if you were muted, you wouldn't be able to be in here right now. You weren't muted. It's just a third bail attempt. Is that what it is? Because I thought that this suit, maybe it is. Maybe you're right. I thought that this suit was, the date was set for this hearing prior to that. So, anyways, okay, they're saying it's third. But yeah, somebody said this real quick. I want to talk about this on YouTube real quick while we're here. So I'm going to throw your comment up here real quick. I'm excited about your podcast on the ways to clean up Hollywood. Yeah, so that was kind of one of the things. We want Hollywood to do better, and we have an opportunity. You know, Dan Catullo, my partner with this, co-host, partner, friend, he, you know, he's out of that world. He's out of Hollywood, and you know, he's a director and producer. He works with the music industry. He does rockumentaries primarily, amongst other things. And he hates the way that Hollywood operates. He hates that his peers and his colleagues take the liberty to do things that are unethical and at the cost of people's, you know, livelihoods or their emotions. You know, like the Gabby Petito story, for example, came out very, very quickly without the family's permission. They completely made up a story, completely made up a narrative, made Gabby's friend a victim while she was already being victimized on social media during that time. And it was just very, very irresponsible. So the goal is to basically, you know, and the unfortunate thing for Lifetime is that Lifetime has a lot of these movies out there. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. But it's hopefully we can make a difference. Anyways, we will see what happens tomorrow, guys. We'll be back hopefully with an update on YouTube tomorrow, definitely on TikTok. TikTok, don't go away. I'll be right back with you guys. And Appreciate you guys tuning in. And if you came in late, you can always go back to the beginning and rewind. Appreciate y'all and have a good one. Bye, everyone.